Hey, good evening, everybody. We are going to get started momentarily. Very excited to be here today. All right. So look, man, it is Wednesday, February 23rd. Yesterday was very interesting, I would say. The Tuesdays, February 22nd, 2022. I definitely used that time yesterday to do a lot of manifesting. A lot of inventory was done on my goals, things that I wanted to accomplish. I pray that everybody had a great day. Use that energy that was around to your benefit. Today we have a very, very, very special guest joining us on the stage. We have Sharae Moore of She Trucking. And Sherae, I know that we're a little bit early. Are you there already, ma'am?
I'm here.
All right, look, I'm ready to get started. And if you are, we can proceed.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. My name is Sharae Moore. I'm the founder and CEO of She Trucking, which is the largest platform for women in the trucking industry. We have over 27,000 women in the transportation industry in our Facebook community. I've been featured on CNN, National Geographic, every platform in trucking. As for the work we do in the community, we're helping women transition into successful careers.
Well, Sherae, thank you so much for joining us and giving us that brief introduction. And, just to go ahead and get started, I did want to say congratulations, ma'am. This is the 5th year of She Trucking. Is that right?
Correct. April the 1st will make 5 years.
Hey, that is amazing. I know that with that came a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but you're here.
Yes. It started out as a clothing brand. Guy has a funny way of laughing at you, what you think your ideas are going to be sometime and shift you into another direction. So I wanted to, start a clothing brand to represent women in the industry. It was the first clothing brand for women in the industry. And here we are.
All right. Man, so, all right, started as a clothing brand, and now you said that it is the largest organization. How many members were in that group?
It's 27,000. We almost have 30,000. So
wow.
Every day I look, the numbers go up.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That is definitely amazing. And, it's great to see that those type of platforms are out here. Me doing the Transportation and Logistics Clubhouse, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I get excited knowing the fact that this thing started from just me and my wife. It actually was just me. And I said, babe, can you please just listen in to give me one listener? And now, to be where we are. So I can only imagine the feeling that you have, seeing how that organization, that group has grown, and the things that it's been able to do for you. But it started as a clothing brand, and now you guys are, quite a bit more. Like you said, you've been on CNN, you've been on National Geographic, you've consulted with some very, very powerful organizations to, help move and transition and push this industry forward. And, are there any new goals with She Trucking? Like, what are some of the things that you guys are interested in doing these days?
So last year we had our first expo, the She Trucking Expo. We had over 1,000 attendees. We had over 100 vendors. And currently I'm working with the White House Roundtable. So I'm involved in the conversations of making it better for people in the industry, especially women and minorities. That's my target audience. Mm-hmm. And we are currently on our way, March the 24th through the 26th, to the Mid-American Truck Show, which is the largest truck show in the world. We have a booth and we're speaking as well. So if you follow our Instagram page, it's a link. It's free until Friday for everyone to register to sign up. So I want to encourage everyone to sign up if you're going or if you're not. So you'll get correspondence in the future about the Mid-American Truck Show. But it's the place where all the resources is in one place that you need to be successful in this transportation industry.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for dropping that. And folks, I did post the She Trucking LLC website right here. So if you wanted to just like tap on that real quick, you would be able to see exactly what she was talking about. So feel free to utilize that as a resource. But yeah, you dropped a lot of stuff right there, and I don't want to just just jump over it to talk about the truck show. We can get to that momentarily, but what you did say is you are a part of the folks that's been talking to the White House about what you guys talking about. I mean, what do how are you helping move the minorities and women in this industry? What are you guys actually discussing there? If you can speak, talk about it.
I actually recorded the first round table. It's on my YouTube page where you can play it. And I speak about maternity pay in this industry because a lot of companies don't offer maternity pay, which means you have to drive while you're pregnant. And a lot of people are miscarriaging, but the conversation hasn't been talked about. And so I brought that to the table. I talk about the future of autonomous, because autonomous trucks are here. You'll see it at the truck show. They always have autonomous trucks. I've been seeing them since 2018 and before. And now they actually out here on the road. So we need grants, right? So we can be able to afford those autonomous trucks. I talked to people about different benefits, different ways that, we can make this place better, make the transportation industry better. And it's, like I said, it's just more detailed if you just listen to it on the YouTube page. Okay.
I think I got to check that out. I'm very excited to hear more about it. And truth be told, I never really thought about women truck drivers and maternity leave. So I'm very happy that you mentioned that you were able to say it here on this platform so that that awareness can get spread even further. That is a huge thing. How long has that been on your radar? Like, how long have you wanted to bring attention to that?
Oh, it's been the first woman actually here. I got a call 5 years ago, and the lady, she said, "I'm reaching out." No, actually, it was a guy. He said, "Can you help her?" And she's in a truck getting ready to have a baby. What can we do? I said, oh, wait a minute. Let me start pulling some strings. So it came because of situations. One of our vice presidents, she had a miscarriage here recently twice because of the truck. And I started doing research about how the impact is equivalent to a jackhammer piling into the floor from the vibration of the truck. So we should be able to take the time, even our husbands as well, to be able to take care of our families, and then we keep our jobs. So currently, if you're pregnant, you're losing your career pretty much until you can get back into, and your finances, your income, until you can be able to get back in the truck. Because if that truck ain't moving, you ain't making no money.
Right. Man, I'm so happy that you were able to share that here. And, I guess just moving forward, even after this discussion, please let me know how I can help, with that, because that's very important. And, I'm just happy to help with that one. Okay. So look, let me ask this. She Trucking is a nonprofit. Why did you decide to do the nonprofit versus, going with the traditional business model?
So we do have a for-profit side. That's our trucking company. My trucking company. I actually drive the truck myself.
Hey.
I have a trailer that has several women on it in the industry who I mentored. So it is a noticeable truck and trailer as we go down the highway. And then, so I do have the for-profit side. And then I also have a nonprofit, which is the She Trucking Foundation. And our mission is just to assist and help people start successful careers. We get a lot of questions, especially in our Facebook community, on how to get started. How do you get your CDL? How do you buy a truck? It's just so many questions. And so we formed a nonprofit organization to support people, to help them in, with different situations that they may have.
Okay, cool. So like you guys have been out here educating folks on the business side, and what about the CDL side, folks who actually want to learn how to do the CDL?
So in 2019, we started the She Trucking Permit class. We was able to train over 100 people in 6 months, and a celebrity, Bobby Bones. It's on National Geographic. It's a whole TV episode called Breaking Bobby Bones. And I actually break down the steps on what's required, to learn like the driving process actually on TV. And that's located on Hulu, Amazon, Prime.
I think I saw it on Disney Plus or
Disney
something.
Plus, yep. So if you just look up Breaking Bobby Bones, it's on YouTube. They do charge like $2.99 because it is a real, TV show. And so, but it's through National Geographic. So yes, I actually started teaching people how to get their permits. It's something that I kind of love to do, but February the 7th, the law changed. I actually moved to Memphis just recently. Now here in Memphis, so we can restart. But we are registered with the FMCSA to offer entry-level driving. So we're going to get back to it.
Okay. Look, and you did mention something that I wanted to talk about. I just posted a link that basically talks about that. It is the fact that, well, you know this a little bit better than me. So on February 7th of this month, of this year, what was the change to the rules and regulations regarding entry level drivers?
So back in the day, we could just train somebody, take them to the DMV, help them pass their test, and boom, you had a license. Now you have to actually go through school or an ELDT provider. You have to take a theory first, and where you can get your CDL. Some states now, I'm learning that some states have different rules, and so depending on your state, you want to check with that to see if you can get your permit the old school way, or we just study. I want to tell everybody what app I used to tell, and I tell everybody to study with. It's the CDL Prep app. It's red and white. That red and white app, CDL Prep, is a app that you can use and download for free to be able to study the permit test. And then the second app that I use is DMV Genie. I tell everybody, just keep taking those tests, keep taking them. And then you can normally you can go into the DMV and take the permit. That's general knowledge, air brakes and combination. The CDL permit requires, what it does is it grants you access to be able to drive the truck with a licensed CDL holder. So I can't put nobody into my truck until you have a permit, like a driver's license permit. So once you get your permit, then you able to do the pre-trip inspection, the backing, and the driving, and the 30 tests from the entry-level driving now. So it's 30 tests. They're not hard. It's easy. It's really not. I mean, you just have to pass 30 of them. And we walk you through it. No one fails it. So It's just the process that now that you have to sign up with the school, and they are increasing prices. So if you're interested in getting your CDL, I want to suggest you do it now, because a lot of the schools that was like $1,000, $500 are increasing, and they getting up to $8,000 and $10,000. They're making it hard because of autonomous trucks. It's going to be 12 credits that's required to drive the autonomous trucks. So they are pivoting people, into that.
Okay, well, that makes sense. So you're saying before somebody can get into your truck to be able to do a road test, they have to first have that permit?
Yes, they have to have the CDL permit.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. I mean, and you've gotten a lot of questions. You've been in a spotlight now. So you said that a lot of people were asking you questions from Facebook, and then how did they get into the industry, and then you started actually teaching people. So when it comes to those theories that people who want the CDLs have to pass and learn, and all that kind of stuff, what were some of the toughest theories or concepts for people to grasp? Like, what would you say?
I'll just speak about myself, because I've been driving now 8 years, but when I first started, I was before I started driving, I was a CNA. So I didn't know anything about the truck. So learning the simple thing of a fifth wheel. What is it? What are they talking about? The terminology of trucking is what was tripping me up. And then it was overwhelming to see 180-page book. Most states do not even give you a manual anymore, so you have to download it. And if you're writing this down, I need you to take notes and realize that you need chapter 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 in the CDL manual. Take out everything else, because those are your CDL permit classes. 11 and 12, that's your pre-trip, or your pre-trip is going to be in 2. And 11 and 12 is your back and your driving maneuvers. So I just had to start, pulling some of the pages out. Because I was overwhelmed, with just so much information. I had to realize, wait, these other pages talking about a school bus versus a semi-truck. Right. So I try to break down a lot of the terminology. But once I did a ride along. That was what I did. I tell people, that's what I suggest sometimes, is do a ride along, jump in a truck with somebody you may know, take a ride so you can learn about the truck. You can be able to see those parking brakes and trailer brakes and what color they are. And when you have that visual and that hands-on training, it makes a big difference.
Yes, ma'am. I can believe that 100% to see it in person versus, it all being in your mind and you got to imagine it. Now, go take that ride along so you can see it live and in person. No, I agree with that. So with you, though, I know that you were able to kind of break down that training, say, hey, these are the things that you need. You might can scrap this if you're not trying to drive a bus or, all that kind of stuff. Like, did you have to develop your own training materials for the people that you were teaching, so that they can focus on the things you felt were important?
Yeah, so I did break the book down and I used a lot of drawing out like the air brakes, how that worked, trying to make it make sense, a lot of videos and visuals, just whatever it took to be able to help someone. And so I'm just proud to say we had 100% pass rate. Hey. All of our people passed. They all on the road now. Hey. Every time I click on my Facebook, I'm seeing another one of our students that out here on the road. So,
right. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing.
So I do want to say I have a national standards apprenticeship program. So through that program, once we get that started, you'll be able to come on and you'll get paid once you have your CDL and you starting to enter into the workforce. They'll pay you through your training. That's what I'm trying to say. We'll pay you through your training through the national apprenticeship. So, and that's through our employee partners. So, right now, we're not taking anyone at this moment until I find a new location because I just moved a couple weeks ago. And then I'm going to work in the school system here in Memphis first to start a CDL program in the school system for Cordova High School. And then after that, I'll be restarting my program.
Okay, well, that's great to hear. But let's go a little bit further into that national apprenticeship program. Like, what is it, and what is that 90-day challenge that you guys were doing?
Ooh, the 90-day challenge. So the 90-day challenge is for us to have more carriers sign up under our apprenticeship program. And the reason why, I was graduating about 10 students a week. I needed places for them to go, and so with me, I'm not holding these drivers. I'm trying my best to push them. But, with the cost of insurance, it's just a inflection of costs when you are hiring a new driver. So sometimes it's hard to place them, until after that 2 year. Once they have 2 years experience, 2 to 3 years, anybody will take them, But when you don't have any, it's kind of hard to find other than starter companies, for them to go to. I do have on my website a list of a list of trucking schools that's on there. You can just click on there, click contact us. It goes straight to their sites. It's some companies I don't recommend for women. And that's CR England, CRST, and Covenant. Those companies have a high rate of abuse and rape for women. And that's one of the things I talked to the FMCSA about. I'm trying to get a zero tolerance program put in place at companies so we can stop. So that's one of the things I talked to them about.
Okay. Wow. That's very heavy stuff. And it seems like it's very, at least you're directing it to the organization that can make some changes, make some impacts in that regard. So, you are a crusader, man. Thank you. Wow. I was not aware of any of this stuff. So thank you for sharing that. With the apprenticeship program, right? Who qualifies for that? Is that like is that people of all ages, or is that something like younger folks can do, like 18, 19, 20, like with that new regulation that came out? What is your apprenticeship who are they geared towards?
So anyone can apply for a national apprenticeship. One of the websites I always direct people to is Fastport. If you look up FASTPORT, Fastport National Apprenticeship, you can literally sign up. It's not just trucking. So they pay you to be able to and set you up with people, employee partners in multiple different careers. Trucking is just one of their careers. So if you're interested in like diesel mechanic, you may be interested in all different, other industries. You can sign up for the national apprenticeship. I am an apprentice. I went through a CDL program through an apprenticeship myself. And so and they paid for my tuition. I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. And so that's why I kind of, I like that system. I feel like I know that it's hard when you have to take off work to be able to, get training or start a new career. So I just wanted to make it easy for people where the money don't stop. You still got bills, right? You still got bills, but I need you to come over here and get this CDL. We're going to pay you, So that's my, that's what helped me, to be able to get into this position that I'm in now with having my CDL.
Okay.
And when I started it, we made 25 cents a mile. So the industry is totally different.
Whoa, 25 cents a mile. I think I saw something advertised for, at least 70 cents the other day.
Exactly. So we've come a long way. We've done a lot of fighting, a lot of protests, a lot of different things to increase wages. So a lot of pioneers is in this industry. When you talk to people with 20, 30 years, 10 years, 8 years, we've done a lot of, we had to, let people know we need more money.
Right. You think with the increase in wages, that's why we have the rule change on February 7th, having to go to a accredited CDL school?
No, it's the autonomous trucks. So when the autonomous trucks come, they won't need as many drivers, and so the industry, and they know that it's changing. These big mega carriers may take over,
Right.
And so it's because of the autonomous trucks. Like I said, it's going to be required 12 credits, and you can look that up. It's already out there. People are already taking the classes. This ain't going to happen. It is happening, and we need people to realize that. It is autonomous trucks around you. Texas just launched a month ago their autonomous truck line, so you can literally see it. You just got to realize what it looked like and what's the name of the company. Okay, U.S. Express, they got autonomous trucks. Multiple companies have autonomous trucks. So, but it's required that you take 12 credits, those classes, to be able to drive the autonomous truck.
Okay, got you. Do you think that rule change helps or hurts the industry?
I don't think it make a difference. To be honest, I think it helps them to keep up with acts. So I train you, you go out here and have an accident, they're going to probably come back to me. You get what I'm saying? And so I think it helps them keep a track of where people are being trained since that incident that happened in Denver, Colorado. That's but this has been in the works for multiple years. I mean, they actually, I think it was supposed to happen in 2020. They pushed it out for 2 years. For another 2 years. So this was already in the works, now it's in place. And I mean, it ain't gonna change nothing except for prices.
Right. And look, you mentioned something earlier that I wanted to come back and talk about. It was the fact that, autonomous vehicles are here and there are ways in which mom and pop shops can get into the game, but we just don't really know about them right now. You said there are grants out there, and, in your experience, where are those grants at? How can people find those if they want to get into the autonomous vehicle game?
The one of our grants, it's on the back end of my website. I have to post a link for you. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll text that to you and you can share it with everyone at a later time. But there are grants out here for people to apply. Of course, you're going to need to have your minority certification, right? You're going to need to make sure that you register with SAMs and, different things. You got your DUNS number, your EIN number, your authority, different things like that to be able to register. But I will share that with you. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay. I did just post something with the FMCSA, those grants that they had up there. I saw 4 of those bad boys. Yes. And, it seemed as though a lot of these are geared towards agencies, whether they state, federal, I was looking at it as a for-profit because obviously I own Atlanta Dispatch LLC and I dispatch folks. So I was just like, how can I, get some grants myself? But they said, or at least the one that I looked up, which was the high priority grant, it looked like it was about to be perfect, but it said it had to be a nonprofit. So, I'm still looking for the ones that, somebody that's a for-profit organization can, come up on.
Yes, there are a lot of grants on the FMCSA website. Most people don't even go on there and look at it. Mm-hmm. Most people going to pay somebody to set up their authority instead of going to the FMCSA website. Simple. And they miss the grants. They miss all the knowledge on the website. So definitely take a look at, he just gave out a big gem of going to the FMCSA website because it's so much information on there.
Yes, ma'am. So, but you said that you got to have your minority certification. Like, is that, you mean like, just straight up your DBE or just, something that says you are a minority? Like, does it matter which one?
As you know, different grants require different things. So it just depends on what you're applying for. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and I'll send you the one that they put out a while back. It's just been so long ago. I got to look it up.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's definitely all good. It did kind of segue to something that I know is, important, diversity and inclusion. Not too many minorities are in this industry. I mean, I know a lot of people, know a lot of people, but when it comes to the grand scheme of things, there's a lot more that could be done to be more inclusive. So even with you, how do you feel like diversity and inclusion has helped you in this industry? Maybe even, the opportunities that you've been a part of recently.
So I demand diversity and inclusion. Matter of fact, I'm a trailblazer in the trucking industry for diversity and inclusion. Mm-hmm. I used to sit in a lot of rooms where I was the only minority in the room. And so I wanted that to change. And I fought these battles for us to be in the room. And so I do hold that, I am a trailblazer for diversity and inclusion through Real Women in Trucking, along with a legend driver and a couple other awards. It's been so long. I'm getting old.
No, basically saying you summed it up. You are a trailblazer and you've done this for quite some time. You've been in places speaking on behalf of folks that didn't even know the room or the conversation was going on. So again, I'm just very happy to be able to highlight you. And you did mention the Trucking Expo. I was one of those folks in attendance and I was blown away. I know it was the inaugural event, but I saw so much potential in what you put on. that I was just very, very, very excited. I got to meet so many people from, here on Clubhouse there. I got to meet Miss Wanda. I got to meet probably, I think that was my first time meeting Tristan from Leading Ladies of Logistics. Definitely my first time meeting Tawana. Like, so it's, you brought together a lot of heavy hitters. So this year, is it going to still be in September? And do you have a location already?
So, this year, I have decided to postpone it because I need a break. I'm gonna be real. Sometimes we gotta know when to take a break. Okay. So I need a break. I've been going hard, y'all. This is my 8th year of going hard, and I just need to reset. And sometimes it's important in business to do that. So I just made the decision to postpone it because I am meeting some people who can take you to the next level as well. We're working with the White House board. And so I want to make sure that in 2023 that it is better than it was this year. And so I'm taking my time with it as I did. It took me 3 years actually playing this expo, and so that's why it turned out so well. But this year I'm going to Trucking Expo and Dubai in October, and I'm taking me a break. I'll be going to Miss Wanda's event.
Yes, ma'am.
And the Mid-American Truck Show and probably other shows as well. But this year we're going to take a reset, and we're going to have it biannually instead of annually because it takes time to build. It takes time, to be able to get the right people, not just anybody, but the right people in the room to get you, to open up the door. So
yes, ma'am.
We're taking a reset, and we're taking a reset. So
wow, that is news, man. I was not expecting that.
I know we haven't made the announcement. We're going to be making an announcement that we're postponing, and it's just because I'm getting ready for another TV show. I have an interview today at 8 p.m. Okay. So, and that's going to be on CBS. I'm not I think I told you, but I don't know. Well, I'll go ahead and tell y'all. So, I may be doing a Big Brother show. And so if y'all know and watch Big Brother, you know that they'll take me out for 3 months. And so, I being 3 months absent and trying to plan the expo, that don't really work.
It don't.
So, and they take all your phone, your social media, so I won't have access to anything. And so with the TV show, with working with the White House and everything, this year I just said, let's just focus on building because it's so important to me to keep relationships and build good relationships. So I want to make sure that I'm, continue to build relationships with the people who actually showed up to the first one. So we are putting out now a lot of our information from the expo. You'll see a lot of pictures, a lot of people who was a part. You're going to see a lot of the speeches and everything as we've been putting out these in the last couple of weeks, highlights from the expo.
Okay. Wow, that's huge news, and man, I did not know I was getting all this juice tonight.
I know.
I didn't know, but I completely understand, and I'm going to be there to support next year in 2023, and obviously with the connections that you've already made. And the people that are going to be able to show you how to put on you and I talked about that Mid-America show, and I know what your sights are for when it comes to the Trucking Expo. So I'm very happy for you. Take that time and make sure it's the best expo it can be.
That's right. We just want to move in excellence every time, not And it's important for us to take breaks and reset. It's other women now in the industry that are having expos as well. So we want to give them the opportunity to shine, and not overpower their events. I mean, I come from a time where we wasn't visible. So when I see visibility as a minority and a woman, I want to make sure that I'm supporting that. So that's why several people in the industry, we're just going to support, we're just going to support some of the stuff that they're doing, and in the process, take a break, a break.
Take a break. I hear you now. Look, you better enjoy Dubai. When you're there, make sure you go to Jumeirah Beach. That's the thing. Go to the Palm Jumeirah. Go to the Burj Al Arab. If you're going to do any of the dunes and being on the quads, the ATVs, make sure you go early in the day. I made the mistake of doing it in the evening, and those are some big old cliffs that you can't even see when it's dark. You know what I mean? So just make sure you go during the day. And what else? I mean, I probably could talk to you about 1,000 more things about my experience out there, but ultimately, you're going to have a great time. And yeah, just get ready to enjoy yourself. I know that Wanda taking care of a lot with that one. So, everybody should be having a good time. It should be very, very fun.
Definitely.
Yeah. So look, all right. So let's just go back to this. So you've consulted with the White House. You're in meetings with the FMCSA, the Department of Labor, CNN interviews, breaking Bobby bones, which I'm going to tell you, my wife and I, we watched that. And you were right. It made me smile, and it jerked some tears out too. So it was a lot in there. So, but look, what has been the most surreal moment? Like, what's been that, pinch me moment? Like, I can't even believe this is all happening. Like, what has that happened yet?
Yes. So, when I first started my brand, I started a mentorship program. Mm-hmm. And I kept hearing women say, I want to be trained by another woman from another woman. So I was like, we can fix this. And, you don't need to keep going, many more years. And no one is doing anything. So I started a mentorship program in my Facebook community. And then Facebook reached out to me. And I thought it was, somebody playing on my, my messenger. I'm like, this ain't Facebook. They don't reach out to nobody, whatever. Uh-huh. And so they ended up keep reaching out. They called me. It said Facebook. I said, what? They said, we want you to come to the headquarters. And so I ended up making a video. And if you look on the regular Facebook page, well, now they changed the meta. It may be different. But they used to highlight our stories. They've done, I think, 2 or 3 videos. I was just recognized for International Women's Day last year, talking to a woman in Spain. But going to that headquarters was an amazing experience. It was really an amazing experience. They taught us how to use the Facebook app, the Instagram. I didn't even know Facebook and Instagram was owned by the same people. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't know they owned it until I went there, and WhatsApp. And so they, it was just that's what knocked me off my feet. I had never experienced anything like that.
Oh, nice. That is magical. Awesome. Okay. Well, they took you out to Cali, huh?
They did. They flew me out to Cali, and out of 300 groups on and pages and nonprofits and all on Facebook, only 3 of us got to meet the COO of Facebook. And they said they want to meet you. I said, I got nervous, like, me? Mm-hmm. Want to meet me for, Mm-hmm. And so I ended up meeting the COO, which is her name is Miss Cheryl Sandberg. Really nice woman. And she grabbed my face, y'all. She looked me in the eye and she said, I came from a male dominant industry, and don't give up. And that's why I've been going so hard ever since. I talk about it in my book, and I share some pictures in my book. I do have a book called Building a Legacy, How I Created a Life-Changing Legacy in the Trucking Industry. And that's on Amazon. And so I talk about, the different experiences and stuff I've been through. Because like I said, I didn't know it was going to, by starting a group and starting to, I guess, advocate for women in the industry, that it would, inspire so many people. So
right, but it definitely has. So, look, take your break, but you got to keep going with this. You definitely got to keep going. So, I know people get burnt out when they go hard for forever, but just take your break, and we look forward to the next thing that you do, because you are now able to get into those rooms that nobody else can. You know what I mean? Like, who else is having the COO of Facebook grab their cheeks and say, hey, you better keep going? That's not happening to anybody else. Okay. So you're in a very, very privileged spot. And I know that you've been doing it for a while. So take your break and, get ready for the next go around. Okay.
Yes. All glory to God. I tell everybody, I say, I don't know how this happened. It's just God, it's just been God.
Yes, ma'am. So look, I know that you and I spoke about this before, but, prior to you even thinking about becoming a truck driver and you just in your regular life, how'd you feel about public speaking?
Oof. I still don't care to do public speaking. I do it because I have to, and but before I wasn't doing any public speaking. Of course, the truck is an isolated, it isolates you, and so I was used to, talking to the people I knew, and to be honest, I don't know. I didn't even have the mindset to want to stand up on the stage to do anything. I don't know. And that's why I said God has a sense of humor, because he was like, oh, yes, you will. Oh, you think you don't want to do that? Well, I'll sit you down and make you do it, and I'll give you all the tools and the resources to make it happen if you just follow. I remember when I first started my expo, I started seeing double digits. I started seeing those angel numbers, and yesterday, there was some angel numbers there.
Deuce.
Yes. And I went through the whole year saying, 111 was first. I started saying 222 in my relationship. My boyfriend is here, Tony. He does cargo vans. I seen him 555. I told him, I said, you're number 5. He said, what? I said, these angel numbers. And even when we're together now, he said, I see the angel numbers too. So, but I was not a public speaker. I don't consider myself, I just speak my truth. I tell my story and I share to help others to know that they can, that they can do it too. If I can do it, you can do it.
Let me ask this. Where would you be if you stayed in that comfort zone and you didn't push past your fear of public speaking? Where would you be now?
Sitting in my truck, minding my business. I would have been sitting in my truck, probably still printing my shirts, because I love the brand awareness. That was what I started doing. And so I probably would just be driving the truck, into my 8th year. But of course, a lot of the things is I do have to say we changed this industry. People used to say, what do a truck, you don't look like a truck driver. And I said, well, what do it look like? What do a truck driver look like? And we started changing that trajectory. So we just, I always made sure my hair done, my nails done, and lashes on. They had never saw nothing like that. What are you doing? Now I see a lot of women. I used to tell women all the time, you don't have to look like the truck. You just got to drive it, And so that has really changed. And I love seeing all these beautiful women coming out here, driving a truck, making their money, because it's real money out here. You can get, especially if you're doing heavy hauling and flatbed and refrigerated trailers. It's a lot of money out here.
Yes, ma'am. I actually met a heavy hauler at your event. When we went to the boat, the gala, for the meal, the person that was standing right behind me, he was an Atlanta based heavy haul carrier. So I hit him up probably 2 weeks ago just to ask him a question. You know what I mean? So it's important to be in those rooms, folks. That's all I got to say. You just got to be in the room. You got to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. And that's why I wanted to highlight, what you've done here is you've touched the world. You've been able to change so many things and offer so much of your opinion because you got out of your comfort zone. And I just pray that people that are listening in will take advantage of those opportunities, even if they're a little scary, even if it's, not something that they would normally do. And I'm talking to myself too. But basically your story is inspirational. So I want to make sure I hone in on that fact that people need to see it for what it is. That's not something that you were, naturally doing prior to it, but you did what the Spirit told you to do, and it's just amazing how everything has turned out. So it ain't nothing but God.
It's all God. It's all God. And I just had made a vow to myself that I was gonna be so nosy. I'm gonna be so nosy that I gotta figure out if this gonna work. And if I stop, then I never will see it. And so I never thought, like, when I was on CNN, we was on CNN because they made me a champion. So I hold a champion for change, and that was the reason why was on CNN. I never seen that coming, so you don't know what other doors God will align you with but you have to listen to him. You have to be present and listen and do the right things and helping people. You'll get it back. Everybody's a lot of times chase the money, and our community is free. It's been free for 5 years, and we just been giving information, and we've been flooded with more than I can charge somebody. Because my legacy is long now. So when I say, okay, throw the dirt on me, my legacy will still continue. It'll still move on. So.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so even speaking of that, in that spirit, what are some of the service projects that you guys are working on right now? And do you guys have anything that you're raising money for, raising awareness for?
So we're gonna right now we're planning for the truck show. We're planning for the Mid-American Truck Show. And so we're going to be taking donations and give away shirts at the truck show and different things like that. But people, we do have an Africa initiative as well that's on the website where we have over 35 women, it may be a little bit more now, but that are in Africa. I don't know. We have it's a lot of our members who are no longer here anymore. I try to send out flowers and do flower funds for our drivers who are no longer here from, accidents. I tell people, sometimes you see these accidents and for me, it's different. My dad, he's the truck driver, so I'm looking and calling my dad. I'm looking for Tony because he on the road. I'm looking for my friends and my family, and I'm going to look in my group and make sure it's not any of my members, So it's just, it hits different with me. And so sometime we either have to, help with certain things.
Okay. Well, yeah, I hear you there. So look, I wanted to ask you something educational. We kind of missed that time when we were talking about your school. But, I do want some people who are interested, maybe they're dispatchers or maybe they're even folks who are interested in, getting their CDLs. I wanted to talk to you about hours of service. And, if you would you be able to just break down what hours of service are and what they really mean?
Yes, and then after this, can we have some questions? I love answering people's questions. Doubt. So I want to make sure that everyone is able to answer their questions. It's so important because a lot of times when I talk, people ask me questions. I like panels and stuff,
Right.
And so I want to know what's on everybody's mind.
Right.
But the hour of service rule is the hours that we can drive or that we can work. Okay, so it's a 70-hour clock. So we work, the average person works 40 hours, a truck driver works 70 plus hours. We only can drive 11 hours a day. We have to take a 10-hour break. And in that 10 hour, you can do a split. Our splits it used to be just only 8 and 2. You could stay off duty for 8 hours, and then you could go and drive a couple hours, and then that was left on your clock. And then you have to take a 2-hour break. And now they have several other, I think it's what was it, a 7-3-8-2.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, they got multiple different break systems now, but it's still a consecutive of 10 hours that you have to be off duty to be able to take that break. And then after all of your 70 hours are gone, you have to take a 34-hour reset.
Okay. So in that So we got 11 hours of drive time. We got 14 totals of, time for you to be in
On
that truck.
duty.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And yep. So you can be on duty or driving for 14 hours.
Okay. So that means that we got 2.5 hours of on duty time where you're not driving. And then what's the rest leftover time?
The leftover time.
Was that 30-minute break?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. We have to take a 30-minute break. I normally go and normally everybody going to take a 30-minute. Yes, you have to take a 30-minute break.
So look, this is my real question.
Within the 8 hours. So within that 8 hours, you have to take a 30-minute break to be able to get the rest of the hours on your clock.
Okay. This was my real question. All right. During that 30-minute break, is the driver allowed to do anything work related?
Technically, you're supposed to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do in real life? You gotta do what you gotta do. Whether it's, sometimes we sitting at the ship or sometimes we fueling. It just depends because you have to maximize your clock for on time deliveries. So if the dispatcher dispatch you and you gotta be somewhere at a certain time, you gotta make your clock work for you. And that's just the honest truth. It's a lot of laws out here. I come from a time where we was still doing paper laws. I just hooked my ELD system up. And so, and we just have to get the load there on time. That's our job, whatever it takes, so whatever you need to do, when we living in that truck, we have to, and that's just the truck driver and me talking, y'all. But on that 30-minute break, I mean, you can eat, I've showered on my 30-minute breaks, and different things like that.
Okay. Well, look, I just wanted to ask that specifically because as a dispatcher, you definitely be trying to maximize all that time. But, I wanted them to hear the legit answer and then the thing that is actually happening just because, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So thank you for, humoring me with that one. And we did have a couple folks that joined the stage. I know that Miss Wanda had her hand up and I wanted to bring up here. Can you please introduce yourself, Miss Wanda, and let us know what your question is?
Hey, Jerry, this is Wanda. Of course, I'm owner of Peace Rugs now, owner of...
It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, I think there's that Bluetooth situation.
Wanda is one of our admins and mentors as well of She Trucking.
Right. Hey, Miss Wanda, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I had to take the Bluetooth off. I guess the battery was getting low. But I just wanted to come up to let you all know that Sherae is a trailblazer. I'm not just saying that. Sherae is I call her my little big sister. She's my little sister because I'm almost old enough to be her mom, but she's my big sister because, man, she has a lot to teach. She's magnificent. I always speak very highly of her. And I want to take this time to wish her a happy birthday. Her birthday is on the 25th Friday. So if everybody could clap your mics and wish Sherae a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wanda has mentored so many women in our community. One of our women that she mentored came to us in the community. She didn't have a CDL, and now she's out here on the operator. She just held her hand and guided her, and that's what we do. We just guide you and hold your hand till you don't need us no more.
Yes, ma'am. I think a lot of people would benefit from that type of help, and I think sometimes it's scary to give that type of help, but I'm happy that you guys are in a spot where you're willing to do it and people are seeing the benefits. So God bless both of y'all.
Definitely grateful for her. That's why we going to Dubai. So y'all make sure y'all sign up for truckers in Dubai if you want to go to Dubai.
Right. Actually, I think I might have that link again. Let me see if I can post it for the folks. Okay, so while I'm looking for that, Brother Herman, hey man, it's been a while. I'm grateful to have you on the stage, brother. Can you please introduce yourself and let us know what your question is?
No, thank you for having me, George. Thank you very much. How you doing? She's trucking. I hadn't spoken to you in a while. How you been?
I'm all right. And hello, how are you doing?
Man, I'm not gonna complain at all, at all, at all. Thanks for the information. I am also a fan. I met this young lady probably almost a year ago on this app, and we had a chance to speak off stage, off thing. And her vision is like people write vision boards. Her vision is coming through, and I've been watching her grow and watching her on these different newscasts. And she told me even back then that she was putting something together. So congratulations on that. And congratulations to you as well, Miss Wanda. So, Joey, my background is logistics. If you look at my background, you're going to see that I own several CDL schools here in Louisiana, and that a trucking company as well as a brokerage company as well. So, logistics is in me. I was fortunate enough to learn in the military and the Marines, and I just moved it to the private sector. So, my question was more or less along the lines of the new rule with FMCSA. I actually love the rule because a lot of people in third-party states such as Louisiana, you do not even go to the DMV to take your test. You go to a third party. So basically, you would just watch maybe a couple of YouTube videos. If you knew how to drive a little bit, you would go take your test. But what would happen is that you knew absolutely nothing about hours of service. You knew nothing about safety. You knew nothing about slowing down before you get to a railroad crossing or any of that, right? So the new rule mandated on February the 7th by FMCSA, I believe it will help safety-wise as far as the industry is concerned. But my real thing was that you shared a link to the FMCSA to do with young drivers. And that's why I came up, because I wanted more information on that part. What I've been fortunate enough to do, and I'm going to share it on the stage, is that I am offering the ELD program to people to be able to profit from it. Like the mandate on February the 7th says that every entry-level driver that's coming in after February the 7th have to be certified, have to take classes before they get their permit, before they enter our industry. So what's not widely known is that that certification can be given all over the country. So what I did here in Louisiana is I opened up and I allowed other people to issue the certifications through my school, and they profit from it, right? So I got one program where somebody can get their CDL B license, and all they have to do is put down $93 to get their certification. We finance the rest. So that's what my question was more aligned with letting you know about that. But I wanted to know more about that apprenticeship program that She's Trucking had up there and you had up there, that dealt with being able to help our young people to get into this industry, 18 to 20 years old, because a lot of people didn't know that they can come to school, but they couldn't cross state lines. Like they come to school, they can drive local bus, RTA, they can do dump trucks within the state, but they couldn't cross state lines. So that was more or less my question was about that program, George.
So I love that 18-year-olds could be able to drive. That was one of the things that we talked about in the past and different stuff like that on different platforms. But Herman is correct. Here recently, I can't remember what the date was, but here recently, it used to be where you could, only drive within your state, but now you can cross the state lines now at 18 years old. And so a lot of pilot programs are going into the school system and stuff like that. But
yeah, it was definitely very recently. I'm on the FMCSA right now. So Herman, that bad boy got established January 14th of this year. So I did repost the link if people wanted to check it out. But Sherae did just give a nice little breakdown saying that it used to be folks could drive within the state, but now during this, with this pilot program, if you have a driver, that you can do that if you're co-pilot with another driver that already has their CDL license, something of that nature. But yeah, that's definitely a great thing, I feel like, for the industry. And I want to say recently, everybody was talking about the teenager out of Arkansas becoming the first person in their state history to be able to qualify for such an opportunity. So Let me know if you have anything specifically that you wanted to talk about, Herman. But yeah, that was the information, brother.
So I think that's outstanding. What She's Trucking is doing with the nonprofit, with the information that you are sharing, that means that we're allowed to take and help young people 18 to 20 to get their certification, not just their CDL, but to pass that federal mandate certification, because they did it twofold. One, they're allowing the 18-year-olds to do it, but two, you also, just like when you're young and you're going to get a driver's license, you have to take those classes in many states. It's the same way in the trucking industry. So now these 18 to 20-year-olds will have to take these ELD certifications, which is fine because it adds more safety and more knowledge to our industry. So that's the other part that I wanted to just speak upon, is the new February the 7th ELDT training certifications. I have been fortunate enough to have an online school here in Louisiana for the longest, and now this online can reach out with the certification. So I am going to partner with a number of drivers, a number of nonprofits, for them to be able to profit from this new rule change. I don't know if you know this or not, but Missouri, they did stats on Missouri. Missouri had up to 21,000 new entrants in last year. 21,000 entry-level new drivers applied for a driver's license. So you can imagine, now that it's mandated that everybody take the certification, it opens up a large opportunity for people to profit from the government mandate. So that's all I wanted to share, Jory.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I said. It's a gold mine. You know, it increased the revenue for CDL. But the real training, and I just want to, when you go through your CDL programs, it's the basics. You don't get the real training until you get on the road and get with that trainer. That's more of my focus now. So that's why I'm making a shift. So definitely, go through other programs to be able to sign up. That's why I have a list of schools and a list of, I'm glad Mr. Herman stepped up to be able to speak about having that training, because that real on the road driver training with the trainer is where you actually learn how to be a driver. You're not a driver just because you got your CDL yesterday. You don't know how to drive that truck in Colorado and West Virginia and in California. That real training is when you with that trainer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, brother. You're always welcome on this stage. And I don't know if y'all know, but this man's a trip. Have everybody at the conference cracking up. So thank you again for coming up to the stage, Herman. I appreciate you, brother.
Mr. Herman, you was at the expo.
Is that me?
Your phone breaking up.
Okay, Mr. Herman, we're gonna come back to you, brother. So in the meantime, okay, yeah. All right. So we did have another person join the stage.
Man, it was. He's speaking about the later logistics conference in Atlanta.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. This man had us cracking up. I can't even lie to you, man. That was some comedy having you on stage, brother. Some comedy. But yeah, he dropped a lot of information too. But yeah, I just didn't know you had the jokes like that. But yeah, so thank you again, brother. We did have Miss Cashmere Howard. How are you doing today, ma'am?
I am awesome, and you all?
Doing great, feeling blessed. Thank you so much for asking. Introduce yourself and then let us know what your question is. Okay. And before you go, sorry about that. Look, we do understand that Sherae has something else to do, so we're going to be closing these questions probably in the next 2 minutes. So if you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off so that we can make sure she has time to prepare for what she has going on. All right. So sorry about that, Miss Cashmere. Please introduce yourself and let us know what your question is.
Okay. Yes. Hi. My name's Cashmere Howard. I'm a mobile notary here in the state of Georgia. However, I am a former worker with the municipal court system in a city in North Georgia. And my question basically is, during my tenure there, I noticed that a lot more younger drivers were getting tickets, and then they were because they realized after the fact they couldn't get certain points on their license because of the CDL. they were coming back to see if they can get it, dismissed or something like that. And I was trying to find out, is there something, I'm not sure what the rules are in terms of that, because I also noticed here in Atlanta, I've been seeing a lot more younger drivers, like you said, 18, and they're just speeding down the highway, and we have state troopers out here, and I'm scared that they're not understanding the consequences of their actions regarding their CDL license.
So this go back to training with a trainer, right? So that's what I'm working with the FMCSA on as well, is making sure that people are being properly trained, because everybody know you take a test, you forget it, right? You just focus on trying to pass the test. And then so right now we're trying to put in place a training program, kind of like a boot camp when you go to the military. So hopefully y'all will see some of that this year or maybe next year. People, they like to push it out a couple of years, but we are developing a training with trainer program so we can make sure that after you have your license that we bring you back into and get you properly trained. Currently, right now, could you go? I don't know if I answered your question.
No, I was just basically wondering, like, within you all's training, like, how are you all able to, I guess, assist, especially the younger drivers, like I said, because I'm noticing it more so with the younger drivers. They're having, like I said, they were coming back in, and then sometimes the judge would dismiss it just to have a clear CDL, to keep their license. But that's not guaranteed for every city in, wherever they got the license. Every judge is not willing to do that. And I think a lot of times they don't realize the consequences of that if they're ever put into that position where they do get a ticket for whatever reason.
Right. Mr. Herman, I'm going to pass this question to you because I haven't ran into that because I really, talk about safety a lot. I let people know that when you get your CDL license, whatever you do in your car, it affects your CDL, and the rates are fines, high fines, federal crime. It's federal crimes if you go out here and have an accident in a semi truck and kill somebody. Right. That's you going to the feds. And so I make sure that, people are, know what they getting themselves into. This is not a game. It's not a joke. My students will tell you, and that's why I'm selective. It's not about the money for me. It's about actually making sure that people have the correct information, because this is a life, this right here could affect your life. You can go out here and have an accident and kill yourself. This is an industry where it is very vital to know and be safe out here. To know the roads, to know which way to go, to slow down. You're supposed to drive 5 miles up under the speed limit. Those are the type of things that we, supposed to be teaching in our schools, So, and I think that's why February the 7th, that law was passed, so they can go back and start, finding some of these schools who's not properly teaching them.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. And I appreciate you for your question, Ms. Cashmere. Did you have anything else, or were you, or was that your only question?
Yeah, that was my only question. I was just, because like I said, I'm living in the Atlanta area. I'm right actually off of 400 where they're doing a lot of construction. Between 400 and 285, and I also travel a lot on 75 and 85. So I've been noticing an uptick of, like I said, younger drivers, and they're zooming past. If I'm already going 65, 70, some of them are already going 85 coming out of Tennessee.
But not in a semi truck. So if someone's doing something in their car, that's something we can't control, right?
No. I'm talking about in the 18-wheeler.
Oh, okay.
Well, most of our 18-wheelers are governed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like even my truck don't go over 75. That's going to be the owner of that truck to take responsibility to govern a truck. Okay. So, it just, some of these, people got their systems wide open, but governing that truck keeps the speed down.
Okay, gotcha. Because I wasn't understanding that part of that piece of it, And like I said, I just noticed it was an uptick. I would say probably within the last 6 months, and I don't know if it's because people are trying to get, logistics wise, trying to get their products to where the destination, and with them doing a lot of construction here, in that whole area. I didn't know if that was, the cause of them trying to, and they're anxious to get there. They're not realizing.
Yeah, that's it. Guess what? We got to you want to eat, don't you? You want your food at the store? We got to get it there. You got to move out of our way. You know what I'm saying? We put that signal light on, move out of our way, move out these trucks away, because we are working. This is a job for us. This ain't fun. We ain't just cruising to our friend's house. Right. We done drove 11 hours. So we get through Atlanta. Of course, we're going to turn it up. We got to get through Atlanta. Oh. I'm just big. That's the truck driver in me talking. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. I'm telling you the mindset of on time. We do not get paid if we don't get that freight there. If we're not driving, we don't get paid. We're not getting paid by the hour. Every hour counts for us. Right. So a lot of people coming out here and they chasing the bag. That's what you see. You see that person driving fast because they running out of time. Okay. We got ELD systems in place. We have 11 hours to drive. It may take us 24 hours to get somewhere. We may break down. Right now it's snow. You got a lot of different things, but we got to make the deliveries or the consumers feel it. Right. Right. So I'm very transparent because people speed in their cars, people speed in trucks. It's people. But the only way that we can solve it in the truck is if the trucks are governed. If the trucks are governed, then you can't speed.
Okay. And can we talk about what that is? Like, what does that actually mean in layman's terms, Sherae?
I'm not mechanically inclined. That's when you get a mechanic to be able. If you go to the shop and say you want the truck governed at a certain speed, you can say it's 70 miles per hour, and they'll set the engine. Mr. Herman, you probably more better on that because I ain't mechanically inclined for that. It's the governor, I guess, in the truck that they can set to a certain speed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So there's yesterday, and that is a mechanical piece that they put on the truck. In fact, some countries, some parts of Canada, it's required for your vehicle, your 18-wheeler, to be governed before they go into some provinces of Canada. So that's just like a speed limit put onto your trucks. Now, to kind of further go into what Sherae was saying, so with young drivers and people speeding, the FMCSA have a point system. And first of all, being young hurts a lot of people insurance when you have young and inexperienced drivers. And the second thing, it'll hurt you if you hire drivers that have high points against their driver's license. So those are some of the things that's in place to kind of curtail drivers breaking the rules and regulations is the FMCSA point system. And by them being young and experienced, it's harder for on the person's insurance. So those are some of the things that they have in place, ma'am. But Sherae is exactly correct. You cannot really control the drivers really up to the rules and regulations to control that driver and for the people to hire more mature, more experienced drivers.
And so a lot of people, you see the influx of people buying trucks now. And so one of the things that most people who teaching you how to get a truck, how to, start your truck income, they're not talking about government. They're not telling you set your truck at a certain speed so it can save you on fuel. They're not talking about that. So I think having this conversation, I'm so glad that you came up, Ms. Cashmere, to ask that question. Because one thing we can do is start talking about it. We can start that conversation and start making sure these trucks are governed so they are not speeding. We can control this. But it starts with the carrier. It's the owner of the truck that has to, like Swift only goes, when I started, 62 miles per hour. We couldn't go over 62 miles per hour. So most of the mega carriers, their trucks are governed. A lot of the smaller carriers, if you have 1 truck, 2 trucks, 5 trucks, they just want you to drive. They don't care. And we got to start caring.
So would that be like the owner-operator truck that you're talking about, like that person who owns that truck?
All the owner-operator trucks.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I was just wondering.
Yes, ma'am. Great question. Ma'am. That was a great question.
Yeah, thank you so much for asking that question. And I appreciate Brother Herman for stepping in to assist. We did have two other folks. We do not have any more, hands are not up anymore, so there won't be any more guests. But Austin, how you doing, brother? Please introduce yourself and let us know what your question is, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm Austin. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I wanted to know about, okay, with me, I'm 23 years old, and I'm interested in getting my CDL, and I want to get a Class B. I'm in an industry right now, kind of a towing business or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So for me to get my CDL, I'm working in I'm low income based. Kind of a low based income, and I know y'all mentioned something about grants out there, and there's not just one out there for the WIOA grant. There's one of them, but you have to be unemployed. Now, for me, being low income based, how can I get a grant with that? With me, don't make enough money to go into school, because some of the schools charge $5,000. I mean, I can't afford that.
Right.
But yeah, but that's something. That's what I wanted to ask.
So you can get into an apprenticeship program. It's a list of trucking schools on my Facebook page where you can just go into the program and you just have to work to pay it back for about a year. So I started school with no money. I didn't have a job, low income. Most of us are that way. Matter of fact, almost everybody who was driving truck came out of, that situation. And so they have so many free programs you can get into. It's a lot of, a lot of your mega carriers, CFI, Stevens Transport, Prime is my favorite one. They pay $900 a week, okay, to be able to get your CDL. There are companies out here that pay you to get your CDL, and they on my website.
They on the website. I did post that bad boy right here, so you can click on that. And you say it's on your Facebook too, Sherae?
No, it's on the website. If you click on trucking schools, right in the menu.
Okay.
That's a list of schools. I'll tell you if it's paid. They have paid training. I'm out of Chattanooga, and so our OHE at Rail.
Right.
They pay you when you're going to school. So some things has changed because of this ELDT. So some people just things are changing.
Right. I see. Yeah, I'm on your website. I see it. You got the trucking report. You got Chattanooga State Community College, Werner, Stevens Transport, Swift Transport, CFI, Rail, or I think that's how you say it, and Prime, CDL permit class. So yeah, it's definitely, that information is up there, Austin. So I would tell you to follow up with that, and I appreciate you for the question, sir.
Yeah, go to Prime so you can be able to go through school and make your money.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Godspeed and best of luck with that one. We did have one other person join the stage. Can you please introduce yourself and let us know what you got going on?
Hi, my name is B. Like B is BEE. So my question, this is my first time joining one of these rooms, and I've really enjoyed all the knowledge. And so, feel free to let me know if this is not the right room to ask this question. But my question was related to even driving the truck. How did you know what was the right truck that you wanted to be able to maybe start with or drive or whatever? So Jory, I think maybe you can also answer, chime in. Because Sherae, I think you had mentioned between the heavy haulers and the flatbeds or the reefers or the refrigerated. How do you know which one you want to focus on or start with or whatever?
So trucks and trailers are two different things. So I was talking about trailers. Those are different trailer divisions. And so let me break down the truck. I tell everybody, get your Freightliner. Okay, simple. Everybody know how to drive a Freightliner. All the schools teach you on a Freightliner. That is the first truck you should learn how to drive, in my opinion, or a Volvo. Something easy. Because your Peterbilts and your Kenworths are a little bit harder. The turn radius is a little bit harder. I have a Freightliner. And then to answer your question about the different trailer divisions, you got dry van, refrigerated, you got flatbed, you got oversized loads, tanker. Those, the tankers are triples and doubles that require endorsements. If you're picking up hazmat, you need the hazmat endorsement. Those are other endorsements. You do have to call people like Mr. Herman and get in his training to be able to even get these endorsements now. That's one of the changes that happened on February the 7th, where you have to go to either ELDT training provider or accredited school to be able to get endorsements now. But most people start with dry van, because that's the cheapest one. It depends on how much money you have, because when you start scaling up, it costs different prices. If you want to do car hauling, you gotta, if you like to be out in the rain strapping cars down, go to car hauling. I don't like that. I never want to do car hauling a flatbed, because on that raining day, I gotta quit. I like driving. I like driving because it's easy, it's simple. I don't like the refrigerator because it's noisy. You see what I'm saying? I want to be able to sleep at night and without the noise. But the refrigerator pay more than the dry van. I want you to go to DAT load board, the DAT website, DAT.com. Follow DAT. They tell you every month what the rates are. Okay? If you can afford a heavy hauling trailer, a gooseneck trailer, go for that. It depends on what you want to do. It depends on what your driver want to do. Most drivers are going to do a dry van. We're not finna be in the rain unless you're going to pay us some big money. Because the more skilled driver, the more money you got to pay them.
Agreed. And I would say those same exact things as a dispatcher. I do see a lot of money being made with those reefer units, probably more with the specialized trailers. So it just depends on what way you're approaching coming into the industry. I don't know if you're interested in being the driver yourself, or you're looking to just be come in as the financial backing to own these assets. So it really just depends on your own comfort level. But I did just repost my link tree because Sharae mentioned the whole DAT. I'm not sure if you have a DAT load board account already, but at least if you use the link in my link tree, you'll be able to get a month for free. That's Trucker's Edge or Power. But yeah, I just wanted to say it just depends on where you are, what you're trying to do. But for me as a dispatcher, owning Atlanta Dispatch LLC, I truly like dispatching refrigerated trailers just because they're specialized. I don't have to fight as much when I call in to talk to a broker about a load. It's not going to be as many people calling about that refrigerated unit. And on top of that, in the past, I've dispatched a lot of box trucks. So trying to call on a box truck load, my fingers ain't hitting calling within that first 5 seconds, I've already missed out because somebody was already calling. But, dispatching refrigerated box trucks, it's a little bit different because not everybody has that. So you're a little bit more specialized and they're going to pay you more, like Sherae said.
And if you're going to start off with a driver. And I'm going to tell you why. It's already hard to find a driver. So to find a driver that is going to have all the endorsements, be skilled at it, and that want to do it. Okay? Because it's hard work. It's hard. It's hard to find a driver who may want to do heavy hauling or want to do car hauling. Because that's not what we train. We're trained in our schools to teach dry van. So, and dry van it is oversaturated. It is a lot of dry vans out here, but you have to be competitive. You do have to wake up early in the morning if you dispatching to be able to get that load. But I would say start off with a dry van so you can find your driver if because that's my opinion.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. This has been really helpful.
All right.
Jerry, I'm definitely going to use the link that you posted on the link tree to be able to go on the DAT board, to get that month for free.
Okay, cool. Well, B, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on stage. Thanks for asking your question. And truly, everybody, I'm just very, very grateful that you were able to tune in as we highlighted She Trucking, Miss Sharae Moore. Madam, look, I just want you to know that it's okay to take your break, okay? But you got some important work to do. You've already started it, so if there's anything that I can do, I know Miss Wanda's already helping. I'm pretty sure Herman is available to help. If there's anything we can do to help you, just please let us know, okay?
I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming in and listening to me. If you have any questions, join our group. It's free. Join our Facebook community and ask away. The drivers there have a lot of experience. This group been around for now 5 years, so it's a bunch of information in there. Or you can just go to the search and search your question, because I'm pretty sure it's been answered years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
welcome to Trucking. Get your CDL. If you go to sleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose.
Women only. Women only.
Okay. Well, are you offering consultations as well? Or is that something that you're taking a break from right now?
I'm going to take a break and drive.
I hear you.
I'm getting in the truck and I'm getting ready to pick up some loads. And then I'm going to reset. So once I start the consultations back, you'll see that on my Instagram. So you can follow the Instagram page. But right now, I have so much going on. Tomorrow we meet with the White House. And so, and it's just right now, most of the questions in my group.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I respect it now. So I just want to say again, thank you so much. My closing remarks is I'm just very happy to be here. Very excited to see the growth that's happening within this industry, to be with this trailblazer, to be able to highlight her. I'm just very, very grateful. Next week, we have a show that is going to be talking to an organization that many of you might know. It's called CLC, CLC Lodging. They're also in my link tree. Basically, they offer those very, very, very discounted hotel prices for, folks that need, truck parking and stuff. So most of their facilities that they have their agreements with, they offer, they have the space for truck parking. So especially those box trucks and those hot shots that are going over the road, this would be something very, very, very beneficial for you. So we're going to be highlighting them next week. And if you guys needed anything from me in the meantime, feel free to shoot me an email, or shoot me a message on what's that thing? On Instagram. I'm not too much in Clubhouse on this little messenger in here. So yeah, shoot me an email or message me on Instagram. But again, thank you all for coming out tonight. And
thank you, Jerry. I appreciate
you, man. All right, y'all have a blessed one.